Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today is going to be a 21 card SGC reveal. This is the 21 card order, which was originally a 20 card order, but I added one more in at the National that I dropped off on the Saturday of the National. So this is 4 weeks since that had occurred, but really it took just about 3.5 weeks to get it. It spent more time in the process of actually being holdered and mailed than it did in grading. I actually got that stuff reviewed pretty quickly in less than 10 business days. But then it took an additional about 5 business days for them to be able to get to the point of mailing it off. 19 of the 21 cards are mine. We'll start with the 2 that are not. I did get permission from my friend to share these. I think he was pretty happy with the results. And he's a big Cubs fan, so I think we'll start with the first card in the order, which was from him. This is the Kyle Schwarber Bowman First Prospect Auto. So he thought it was pretty excited that it will be in a video this week, given that he had the pretty historic performance the other day with the Philadelphia Phillies when he hit 4 home runs in a game. Let me adjust that so it's not glaring too much directly on the flip. So there you go. There goes Kyle Schwarber. His autograph came back at 10. The card came back at 8.5. I was pretty happy with him, at least for the result of getting the autograph graded on that one. And then this, obviously, the National occurred the week actually Rhino passed, so he actually decided to get his 83 Fleer rookie graded in a 9. I had a bunch of these in the order that I had, or the football cards that I picked up, not the 83 Fleer, but the Donruss and the Tops. I ended up not getting any of them graded, and I kind of regret because I was actually pretty impressed. I thought I had some that probably, since this came back a 9, probably would have also came back close to a 9. Oh well, lessons learned. Those are off at Greg Morris right now, being listed, up for sale. Pretty excited how that's going. I'll talk about that in another video, but here you go. These are for, his name was Naveen, and these are his cards. So I'll work on getting those to him this week. Sandberg looks pretty cool, and that autograph is pretty awesome. So I'm going to start with kind of golding, going through newest to oldest. I have some oversized vintage in here, so we'll break to be able to do some of those. And I have cards going all the way back to the 1930s. If you remember the first video I did introducing the cards that I was submitting, I have a bunch of diamond stars that are going to go in my cases here. So let's start with the most recent card. It's a 2021 Topps Black Albert Pujols. Came back a 9. And I could tell you why. It's a little off center, one direction to the other. I can tell that by just my naked eye. But also I know that the tops are tipped here. I knew that when I submitted it, but it's his black from when he played with the Dodgers in 2021 top update, numbered out of 70. So pretty cool just to have that one in case. It's going to go in my Albert Pujols display. Actually, we'll move him because the next two cards are pretty related to one another. I actually picked up a King Griffey Jr. bobblehead at the White Sox game last weekend. I'll take a picture of that and I'll have that up on my social media at some point, along with one of the cards here. So I'll show you how my displays kind of turn out, because that's going to be a separate video with all these updates. So I submitted some King Griffey Jr. White Sox cards, starting with the 2009. This is Series 1, and it came back at 10. This is the gold, numbered out of 2009. I haven't submitted too many of the, you could say the paper product, but the regular traditional gold that have come back at 10. I think of all the ones I submitted, including Jeter and even Pujols, the few that I've submitted the Pujols to this point, this is the first one that came back at 10 of the regular card. I do have one Jeter. This is like a secondary card from, that's a checklist. 2008, he was in the update series. This was the 9. I knew this one wouldn't get a 10 because I could see a little whitening on one of the corners down here. I can also tell it's off the center, a little bit more to the left than the right. So I think a 9 is completely justified. I just need to decide which ones I'm going to put with the bobblehead up on the case. Probably going to go with the 10 on there, but I do like that image on the 2008. I like the design of the 2008 set much more, in my personal opinion. I love that it kind of like really kind of takes me back a bit to the late 50s, early 60s. I think this design would have fit in really well with, like, for example, I think it kind of complements 1960 Topps pretty well, especially the horizontal cards. All right, so there you go. There's the 2 King Griffey Juniors. Really happy with the way those turned out. The next one is going to be a gift that I got the week of the National. This came from Dre Diaz and his wife when they were over here. If you don't subscribe to their channel, I wish you should. He does a lot of fun stuff. This is going to be the Curt Schilling X-Fractor from 2003 Topps Chrome. These are numbered out of 50. This is card number 3 out of 50. Came back a 9. again, this is one of those weird ones because only me and the person that put it in that case, and then obviously when it got pulled out for grading, are the people that ever touched this card. So I expect maybe a little bit of a higher grade, but you know, these were uncirculated, so they weren't in packs. So I was a little disappointed maybe didn't get a little higher. It was true when I submitted one other uncirculated card from 2004. It got a 9.5, so at some point maybe you'll get a 10, but these are really fun. These are the X-Fractors again. So thank you again for that gift, Ray. I'm very happy it turned out really nice. And his name will come up again because there's one more gift in the order from him. Take a quick water break here. The next three are related. See if I can get these to stand up. I'll probably just leave them in the corner for our subsequent video here. So these are players that I wanted to add into my display in a different capacity. So I submitted some cards from the 1964 Topps Giants set, which I think displays really well. My next video is going to be like the updates to my displays, and I'll kind of explain what I'm doing. But first one is going to be one of the two major short prints in the set. This is the Willie Mays. This one I picked up at a card show here locally a couple of years ago. So I'm pretty happy that came back 5. Let me adjust the camera a little bit so you can maybe get the top of the card in there a little bit easier. Looks like it might be a little easier said than done. There we go. Let me adjust the light so it's not so harsh on the card. Oh, that is me. I turned the light down a little bit and then I turned it off subsequently. There we go. Let's see if we can get it a little bit brighter. Not a big fan of this desk lamp. Now I'm not going to be screwing with the light, and that's what people are going to be talking about in the video. Got dark here a little bit. Move it back, actually. That should solve the problem. Here we go. It's a little bit dark, but I think we can see it just fine. See if I can get a little bit brighter. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right, the next one I got is a Frank Robinson that came back in 8. That one was a really pleasant surprise, kind of getting it kind of graded out as an 8 in the order. I think I probably was all in with grading all of like maybe $25 on the card. So for it to come back at 8, if I were man that was selling those, that would be pretty fantastic. And the final one I got back is card number 11. She didn't have a graded item of Roberto Clemente in my collection anywhere. I have plenty of Clemente cards, but they're all in binders at this point. So maybe at some point I'll pull some of those out to be able to submit those in so I can start putting those in my display. But there you go. We got Frank Robinson, Roberto Clemente, Willie Mays, all are going to be moving into my display cabinet. I'm going to leave 2 of them up here in the corner. I'm going to take out Willie here in a minute, move him off to the side. And we are going to put these 2 on the corner as we continue onward. We got Roberto and we got Frank in the background. We will, there we go. We're gonna stay with the oversized items for a minute. So I'm gonna do one at a time here. So it'll be a little easier to display those. And then I have a series of Redmans from the 50s. At some point, I'm gonna try and work on the 52 Hall of Famers. So I did get the 3 that I had that were already ungraded, graded. But I do have one from 54 that was part of the same purchase I did when I was up in Green Bay. And this was the Bob Lemon, came back a 4. So that's pretty fantastic if you were to ask me. Move this just a touch. There we go. There we go, now they're a little bit more all in frame. Beautiful example of this card. I love the American flag over here in the corner. Some of the touches they did from one year to next. Definitely enhanced some of the eye appeal on the cards. And I like that all the information on the players on the front of the cards, everything else on the backs, just about the product and the redemption program they were doing. And I prefer these with the tab, personally, because I like to have the year clearly written on there. And in the 52, as we'll do next, actually has the number of the card on there as well. So these are going to be in reverse numerical order, starting with Early Went, who was part of that same purchase with the Bob Lemon. Former 59 Cy Young Award winner with the Chicago White Sox. Here he is pictured with Cleveland in 1952. Love the red background with the Indians uniform there, just really kind of pops. The next one is a gift from Dre Diaz as well from a couple of years ago. This is the Warren Spahn. Card number 22. This one's got some creasing on it. I knew it was going to be a 1. I wasn't surprised about that. And I thought this one came out really well. It was another 4, but it's Larry Doby. Fantastic. So I was pretty happy with the way those graded out in my order. And they're going in my display. All right. You can do 2 at a time here. Cards are a little bit smaller. We have 8 diamond stars in my order. I'm going to do these also reverse numerical order, going from 36 cards all the way to cards that were released originally in 34, even though they might be part of a 35 release. Or reissue, I should say, at that point. We're going to start with George Selkirk, which I think is the most visually stunning of the cards I picked up in this, from ungraded cards I picked up that weekend at the National. We've got Stonewall Jackson, Travis Stonewall Jackson, Hall of Fame. Shortstop, I believe. Maybe him shortstop and second base for the Giants in his day. Those look pretty fantastic. I think the Selkirk looks really sharp, personally. Then we have Tony Kuznetsov. I'm going to pronounce that wrong every single time I see it. Here he is with the Brooklyn Dodgers. We got Hall of Fame third baseman, Pie Traynor with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here you have his career here when he was a player manager with the Pirates. I came back at 2. It's actually turned out to be a little better than I thought. Same with the Stonewall Jackson. I thought it was going to be a little lower. 4 more to go. This one I picked up from George Diamond Yard Sports Cards. It was the only ungraded item I picked up off of him. It was the Sparky Adams card. Came back at 3. Beautifully composed card with that building in the background, red sky, blue grandstands, then more of a natural color infield and outfield, and the Cincinnati red pinstripes in this one. Almost look like pajamas. This one I did not know had a little pinhole until I submitted it. It kind of just eluded my vision. I don't know if I would have bought it if I'd seen it, but the colors still just really pop on this Van Mugo card number 19. I looked at some that actually were graded this past week, so I thought maybe I'll upgrade, but as I looked at it, I was still happier with this one. This one, I think the color is just still so stunning on it, even with that little pinhole. So I ended up keeping this one and pretty happy with it. All right, I got 2 more. So I'll move Sparky. I'll move Van Mugo. We have Chick Haffey. Not surprised this is a 1.5. All the corners are rounded on this one. Hall of Fame outfielder with the Reds and St. Louis Cardinals. Then finally, card number 6, Mac Bishop. Bishop, I believe, is playing for Boston, the Boston Braves, I believe. Oh, wait, correct. I am incorrect. It is Boston Red Sox. Couldn't quite tell right there. There he is, Max Bishop, card number 6 in the Diamond Star sets. Both these were issued in 35. I think all the cards I got were part of the first 24 are all issued in 35. Same thing with everything except for the George Selkirk, which was going to be released only in 36. Everything else is a 35 release. So that's it. That's my order. I would say I was pretty pleased overall. When I submit cards, I'm not always looking for the grade. I'm not chasing necessarily a high grade personally. Like with these, I'm trying to get the entire set graded, and I don't have a minimum grade standard that I'm looking for. I'm just trying to get cards that actually have a numerical number on it. So I have things all the way from 1 all the way up to 7 in this set. I don't know what it'll average out when I'm done and finished, but I'll do kind of that breakdown once I have it done. I was down to 10 cards as of last night, but I won one in a negotiation overnight. And so I'm down to just 9, which is pretty exciting. That will come in at some point this week, so I'll share you that one. I'm going to update these cases too, so I'll get a chance to put that all in a video with these cards I'm adding into my displays. I'm going to show you sort of before and after some of the ones I'm changing, and looking forward to putting that video together shortly and having it out later this week. This is it for now, and if you're kind of wondering what were my favorite cards of the order, well, you're looking at 2 in the background there for sure. The Larry Doby is definitely one that really kind of spoke to me too. Really happy with how that one kind of turned out here with the Red Man. And if I had to kind of go through some of the cards from the Diamond Star set, I just thought that Selkirk looked really cool to begin with. I'm certainly happy with the modern cards in the order too, but I'm definitely more of a vintage guy overall, and I'm really happy with the way that this Selkirk looks now that it's all graded up. So that is it for now, and we'll be back very soon with my updated displays. And I'm gonna work on one video because I owe you a complete set presentation. It was supposed to be for this month. It's gonna come out early next month. Have all my notes together, just didn't get a chance to film this week. So that's just the way the ball goes sometimes, the way it bounces. All right, take care.